welcome to my Cozy Berry Games. So today I am going to give you guys a tour of my Parisian inspired town. Okay, so to the right we have the park slash maybe garden, and then the left we have the whole apartment building complex. Okay, going into the park we have the two benches and a water fountain. And then in the back, I decided to put an ice skating rink just for the winter, which I think would be very appropriate and very cute. Then we have this big tree area for sitting, and then I have the back lined with these snowy trees, which I will do around the whole perimeter of the park. I just need to get to that, but I will put in more trees to make it more Parisian-like. Okay, and then crossing the street, you guys will notice that my decal is very off, so I will need to fix that. And this is the entrance of my bakery slash cafe. So on the side of that, I made these custom cafe tables with basic shapes. And then here in the back, I think it's like the alleyway. Okay, and then here is the side of my flower shop. Okay, and then here we have all the different size pots and colors, and the different size and colored flower arrangements, which I think is very realistic. And then here we have the different vases. Then I'm going to put flowers on the left side. I have that cute little table, and then here is going to be my workshop. And then here is a cashier front space, which I think is very cute. And then here is going to be like the Seine River. I'm still deciding if I want to keep this. And then here is the front side. So here is the grand entrance of the apartment building, and then to the right here we're going to have a restaurant, which I think is pretty cute. And then here we have the front office receptionist area, and then the back door again. And then going up the stairs, this is the second floor. Only 2 apartments here. Please let me know what I can do with all this empty space. Okay, and then to the right here is going to be an in-unit washer and dryer, which I think is pretty neat. Okay, and then we have the cute green dining table. And then we have a very small kitchen, which is not the smallest I've built yet. So just be prepared for a smaller kitchen. And then here we are entering the living area. I've been loving the new texture that was added from the fancy new furniture update. And then I just have a stove, fire, and then that's great. Very Parisian. And then here's the bedroom. The colors in here are flint and linen, just to make it that more vibey room in here. And then I added the new record player from the update. I've been loving that a lot. And then here is a divider that leads into the bathroom. Very modern bathroom, I would say, with a bit of hint of traditional. Okay, and then moving on to the studio apartment. That was a 1-bedroom, this is a studio. So in the studio, you are welcomed with the living room and the bed, but I had separated that with like these 6 cubby organizer and just put like some random realistic things in there. And then I have the cozy bed, and then to separate that from the kitchen, I put a fireplace, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, and this is a very small kitchen, but it has everything you need, which I think is very realistic for Paris. And then here is a very weird and awkward bathroom. So if you have any suggestions on how I can lay this out, please let me know. Alright, so now to the 3rd floor. Here is an empty studio apartment. So if you guys have any layout suggestions, please let me know, because I do need help with that in that department. And this is the studio I already started like decorating. So I plan to do some like the kitchen here, and then on that side have like an island and a stool so I can like eat. And then since in Paris, the toilet and the shower are separated, that is the concept I had here. So in this door is going to be the sink and the toilet, which is very realistic. And then in another door, this one is going to be the shower. Just to have more of that realistic Paris things in here. And then you have the bed, very open concept, and then the living room. And then I have to put a lot of wall storage because there's not really like floor space. And then for the living room, I'm going to put like a table here because I think that would be really cool and neat. Okay, and then on that wall, we have our first balcony of the building, which I think is pretty neat, very cutesy. And then here is across from that, which is way bigger and going to be a 1 bed, 1 bath, but it might be a 2 bed, 1 bath. But I don't know, I might make it like a walk-in bathroom or walk-in closet or just make everything bigger. Okay, and this on the 4th floor is our penthouse, which I'm really excited for and really need help with any layouts. So if you guys have any layout suggestions or how to make it more realistic, please let me know. I have this door that leads out, so maybe this can be like the room. And then here is like the main door to go outside, so maybe this can be like a little chill, cozy area. Look at the views are amazing. I wanted to make the park across from it, so it would be like max views. Okay, and then over here is another door, so I'm thinking maybe this can be like the actual main living room. And then over there in like the back will be the kitchen, and this is going to be the entrance. I'm gonna put like a little light here, a little table here, a rug, and then I'm going to put like a coat hanger, maybe some umbrellas here. I kind of see the vision, but yeah, I just want to make this grand. Okay, now with the bakery, please let me know how I can make this better because I feel like something's missing. Like something is very off with this, but I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the color scheme. Maybe it's the floor itself. I don't know. It just looks very off to me. But yeah, this is a very unoriginal bathroom. Modern sink, modern toilet. What more can you ask? Modern mirror. And then here in the back of the bakery is a little gate to enter. And then we have all my baked goods. And then please let me know how I can better arrange this because right now I haven't arranged anything. My appliances are just like all over the place. But yeah, let me know what I can do to make it more realistic for you guys and how to make this build better. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a very beautiful day.